Okay, so you send over this guide about building an NFT art gallery, and
Yeah.
I gotta say, it's pretty fascinating stuff.
Oh, yeah, it's a really exciting space.
So let's dive in.
Sounds good.
First of all, for anyone who's maybe not totally familiar with the whole NFT thing, can you just like give us the quick elevator pitch? Like, what makes NFT art so different from just a regular digital image?
Sure. Imagine you buy a piece of art online, but it's not just a copy, it's the original. And you have a digital record of ownership that's unique and can't be forged. That's basically what an NFT is. It's like a digital certificate of authenticity.
Okay, so it's like owning the Mona Lisa, but instead of a painting, it's a digital file.
Exactly. And that ownership is recorded on a blockchain, which is a super secure and transparent way to track transactions.
Okay, so blockchain. That's where things get a little techie for me, but I get the basic idea. It's like a public ledger that everyone can see, so there's no funny business going on.
Right. It's all out in the open and very difficult to tamper with.
So what's the big deal about owning the original digital file? Like, what are the advantages for artists and collectors?
Well, for artists, it's a game changer because they can sell their work directly to collectors without going through intermediaries like galleries or auction houses.
Ah, so they get to keep more of the profits.
Exactly. And they can also program royalties into their NFTs. So every time their artwork is resold, they get a percentage of the sale.
Wow, that's amazing. So even after they sell the artwork, they can continue to earn money from it.
Exactly. It's a whole new way for artists to monetize their work and build a sustainable career.
And what about from the collector's perspective? Why would someone want to buy NFT art?
Well, for one thing, it's an investment opportunity. The value of some NFTs has skyrocketed in recent years.
Yeah, I've heard stories about people making millions from buying and selling NFTs.
It's true, but it's not just about the money. Many collectors are genuinely passionate about the art itself, and they see NFTs as a way to support artists they believe in.
Okay, so it's a bit like the traditional art world, where some people buy art for investment purposes and others buy it simply because they love it.
Exactly. It's a mix of both, and I think that's what makes the NFT art world so dynamic and exciting.
So let's talk about this guide you sent me. It's all about building an NFT art gallery, which sounds kind of intimidating to me. Like, where do you even begin?
Well, the first step is to decide what kind of gallery you want to create. Do you want to focus on a specific niche like AI generated art or photography? Or do you want to have a more general marketplace where any artist can list their work?
I guess it's kind of like opening a physical gallery. You have to decide what kind of art you want to showcase and who your target audience is.
Right. And then you need to choose a blockchain platform to build your gallery on.
Blockchain, see, this is where my eyes start to glaze over a bit.
It's not as complicated as it sounds. Think of it like choosing a location for your gallery. Different blockchains have different strengths and weaknesses.
Okay, so like Ethereum is like the trendy downtown art district, and maybe Solana's like the up and coming neighborhood with more affordable spaces.
That's a great analogy. Each blockchain has its own community and ecosystem, so you need to do your research and choose the one that best aligns with your vision.
And once you've chosen your blockchain, then what?
Then you need to decide how you're going to build your gallery platform. You can either build it from scratch, which requires some technical expertise, or you can use a white label solution, which is a pre-built platform that you can customize.
So like building your own gallery from the ground up versus renovating an existing space.
Exactly. And then there are even simpler options like no-code platforms that allow you to create a storefront on an existing marketplace.
Okay, so there are options for people with different levels of technical skills.
Right. You don't need to be a coding whiz to create an NFT art gallery.
That's good to know because I'm definitely not a coding whiz. So let's say I've figured out my niche. I've chosen my blockchain. I've built my platform. What are some essential features that every NFT art gallery needs?
Well, you need a way for users to create profiles and connect their wallets so they can buy and sell NFTs.
Okay, so kind of like an online store where people need to create accounts.
Exactly. And then you need a system for listing and showcasing artwork with high quality images and detailed descriptions.
So making it easy for people to browse and discover new art.
Right. And you also need a secure and reliable way to handle transactions and manage royalties.
That's where the smart contracts come in, right?
Exactly. Smart contracts are like digital agreements that automatically execute when certain conditions are met, so they ensure that artists get paid their royalties every time their work is resold.
That's so cool. It's like having a built-in lawyer for every transaction.
Right. It's one of the most powerful features of NFTs.
So this guide makes starting an NFT art gallery sound almost easy. But I'm sure there are challenges too, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme like any business. It requires hard work, dedication, and a bit of luck.
So what are some of the biggest challenges that gallery owners face?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is standing out from the crowd. The NFT art world is incredibly competitive with new galleries popping up all the time.
So how do you make your gallery stand out?
You need to have a clear vision and a strong brand identity, and you need to be active in the NFT community, building relationships and promoting your artists.
So it's not enough to just build a website and wait for people to come to you.
Definitely not. You need to be proactive and get your gallery out there.
And what about the technical side of things? Are there any challenges there?
Well, one of the biggest technical challenges is dealing with gas fees.
Gas fees, explain that one to me like I'm 5 years old.
Sure, so every transaction on a blockchain requires a small fee called a gas fee to compensate the miners who verify the transactions.
Okay, so it's like a toll you have to pay to use the blockchain highway.
Exactly. And gas fees can fluctuate depending on how congested the network is. So sometimes they can be quite high, which can be a barrier to entry for some artists and collectors.
So it's something that gallery owners need to be aware of and factor into their pricing. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground so far, but I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of this whole NFT art gallery thing.
Yeah, there's a lot more to dive into.
Well, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll explore some of the strategies and tips for making your NFT art gallery a success.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. We'll be right back after this short break. Okay, so before the break, we were talking about all the challenges of starting an NFT art gallery,
Yeah,
like standing out from the crowd and dealing with those pesky gas fees.
right.
But let's focus on the positive for a minute. Like, what are some strategies that gallery owners can use to actually make their gallery a success?
Well, one of the most important things is to build a strong community around your gallery.
Okay, but how do you actually do that?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you can just put up a sign and expect people to come flocking in, especially in the digital world.
True, but there are a lot of ways to connect with potential collectors and artists online. Social media is a big one. Obviously, you need to be active on Twitter, Instagram, Discord, all the places where NFT enthusiasts hang out.
So basically just shouting into the void and hoping someone hears you?
Not exactly. You need to be strategic about it.
Yeah.
Engage with other users, share interesting content, promote your artists.
So it's all about building relationships and creating a buzz around your gallery.
Right. And you also need to offer something unique, something that sets you apart from the competition.
Like what kind of unique value proposition are we talking about?
Well, it could be anything, really. Maybe you specialize in a particular type of art, or maybe you offer a curated selection of NFTs from up-and-coming artists.
So basically finding your niche and becoming the go-to gallery for that particular type of art.
Exactly. Or maybe you focus on providing excellent customer service or offering educational resources for new collectors.
So it's not just about the art itself, it's about the whole experience.
Right. You want to create a welcoming and supportive environment where people feel comfortable buying and selling NFTs.
Okay, so you've got your community, you've got your unique value proposition. What's next?
Marketing, baby. You got to get the word out there.
Okay, so we're talking like online ads, social media campaigns, that sort of thing.
Yeah, but it's not just about blasting your message out to the masses. You need to be targeted and strategic about it.
So how do you do that?
Well, you need to know who your target audience is and where they hang out online.
So if you're selling high-end AI art, you're probably not going to be advertising on a meme page.
Probably not. You'd want to be on art blogs and forums and maybe even partnering with influencers in the art world.
Okay, so it's all about reaching the right people with the right message.
Exactly, and you also need to be consistent with your marketing efforts. You can't just post once a month and expect to see results.
So it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Right, you need to be in it for the long haul.
This is all starting to sound like a lot of work.
It is, but it can be incredibly rewarding if you're passionate about art and you believe in the potential of NFTs.
Okay, so let's say I've done all the hard work, I've built my gallery, I've got a great community, I'm marketing my butt off. How do I actually make money?
Well, there are a few different revenue streams for NFT art galleries.
Hit me with them.
The most common one is transaction fees. Every time someone buys or sells an NFT on your platform, you take a small percentage of the sale.
Okay, so like a commission.
Exactly. And then there are listing fees. You can charge artists a fee to list their work on your gallery.
So kind of like a membership fee.
Yeah. And then there are other ways to monetize, like hosting events or offering premium services.
So there are multiple ways to generate income. It's not just relying on those transaction fees.
Right. You need to be creative and find what works best for your gallery.
And of course, you mentioned royalties earlier. And that's got to be a nice bonus for the artists.
Absolutely. It's one of the biggest benefits of NFTs for artists. They get to participate in the secondary market and earn royalties every time their work is resold.
And that incentivizes them to create high-quality work that will appreciate in value.
Exactly. It's a win-win for everyone involved.
So it sounds like there's a lot of potential for success in the NFT art gallery world, but it's not without its challenges.
Right. Like any business, it takes hard work, dedication, and a bit of luck.
But for those who are passionate about art and believe in the power of NFTs, it could be an amazing opportunity.
Absolutely. It's a chance to be a part of something truly groundbreaking.
Okay, so we've talked about the strategies, the challenges, the revenue streams, but there's one more thing I want to touch on before we wrap up, and that's the future of NFT art galleries. Like, where do you see this all going?
That's a great question. And to be honest, it's hard to say for sure because this space is evolving so rapidly.
You must have some thoughts on what the future holds.
Well, I think we're going to see a lot more integration between NFTs and the metaverse.
The metaverse, okay, explain that one to me like I'm living under a rock.
Basically, the metaverse is a persistent virtual world where people can interact with each other and with digital objects.
So like a really immersive video game.
Sort of, but it's more than just a game. It's a whole new way to experience the internet.
And how do NFTs fit into this?
Well, imagine being able to display your NFT art collection in your virtual home in the metaverse, or being able to attend virtual art exhibitions and auctions.
So it's like taking the concept of an NFT art gallery and bringing it into a virtual world.
Exactly, and I think that's going to open up a lot of new possibilities for artists and collectors.
That sounds pretty mind-blowing.
It is, and I think it's just the beginning. We're only just scratching the surface of what's possible with NFTs and the metaverse.
So it sounds like the future of NFT art galleries is bright.
I think so. There are definitely challenges ahead, but I'm excited to see what the future holds.
Me too. This has been a fascinating conversation.
I've enjoyed it.
Thanks for sharing your insights with us.
Anytime.
Okay, so we've talked about like the how-to of starting an NFT art gallery and the strategies for making it successful.
Yeah.
But what I'm really curious about is the bigger picture, like the future of all this.
Right. The big so what?
Yes. Like, how is this all going to play out?
Well, I think the most exciting thing is the potential for NFTs to completely transform the art world.
Okay. How so?
Well, for one thing, NFTs make it possible for artists to have more control over their work and their earnings.
We talked about those royalties, right?
Exactly. And they can also use NFTs to connect directly with their fans and build a community around their art.
So cutting out the middleman like the galleries and the auction houses.
Right. And that's a huge shift in power. It's giving artists more autonomy and more opportunities to make a living from their art.
And what about for collectors? How are NFTs changing the game for them?
Well, for one thing, NFTs make it easier than ever to collect and trade art.
Yeah, you don't have to deal with all the hassle of shipping and storage and all that.
Right, it's all digital, so it's much more accessible. And you can also use NFTs to invest in art in a way that wasn't possible before.
Okay, explain that.
Well, because NFTs are fractionalizable, you can buy a small piece of a larger artwork.
So you don't have to shell out millions of dollars to own a piece of a blue chip artwork.
Exactly, you can get in on the action for a much smaller investment.
That's pretty cool. It makes art collecting more accessible to more people.
Right, and it also creates new opportunities for artists to fund their work.
How so?
Well, imagine an artist launching an NFT project where they sell 1,000 fractions of a new artwork.
And they could use that money to actually create the artwork.
Exactly. It's a whole new way to fund creative projects.
So NFTs are really shaking things up in the art world.
They are, and I think we're only just beginning to see the full impact.
The guide mentioned some pretty mind-blowing possibilities, like virtual galleries in the metaverse.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm most excited about.
I have to admit, I'm still a bit fuzzy on what the metaverse actually is.
It's kind of like the internet, but more immersive and interactive.
Okay, so instead of just browsing websites, you can actually walk around and interact with people and objects.
Exactly. And imagine being able to visit an NFT art gallery in the metaverse. You could walk through the virtual space, admire the artwork, chat with other collectors, even attend virtual events.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It's like taking the best parts of a real-world gallery and bringing them into the digital world.
And I think it's going to create a whole new level of engagement with art.
The guide also talks about AI-generated art, which I find fascinating and a little bit scary.
Yeah, it's definitely a game changer.
Like, are we going to see a future where robots are creating all the art and human artists are out of a job?
I don't think so. I think AI is going to be a tool that artists can use to enhance their creativity, not replace it.
So like a collaboration between humans and machines.
Exactly. And I think we're going to see some really incredible art emerge from that collaboration.
Okay, so we've got virtual galleries, AI-generated art. What else is on the horizon for the future of NFT art?
Well, I think we're going to see a lot more experimentation with different types of NFTs.
Like what?
Well, we've already seen NFTs for digital art music videos, but I
Uh,
think we're going to start seeing NFTs for things like physical objects, experiences, even ideas.
NFTs for ideas. It's an
Yeah.
interesting concept.
Yeah, like imagine owning the NFT for the original idea behind a successful movie or a groundbreaking invention.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
So basically anything could become an NFT.
I think so. The possibilities are really endless.
It's both exciting and a little bit overwhelming to think about.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in, but I think it's important to stay curious and open-minded about what the future holds.
Well, this whole deep dive has definitely opened my mind to the possibilities of NFTs.
It's been a great conversation.
And I think it's safe to say that NFTs are here to stay. They're not just a fad.
I agree. I think they're going to have a profound impact on the art world and beyond.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for joining us, and thanks to our listeners for tuning in.
Until next time.
Keep exploring and stay curious.